Welcome to this Marval video demonstrating the usage of our integration platform. What we're going to do in this video is we're going to go from the start with the registration of an account on the platform and then how we install our first plugin and configure that. So the first thing you need to do is navigate to integration.marval.cloud and you'll be presented with this screen here, and we'll click on register here to register a new account. I'm going to put an email address here. Then we'll click sign up. We're going to get a verification code into our email. I'm going to grab that from my email and place that in here. So I'll place that verification code and then click submit, and that will give me the option now to log on to the platform. Okay, now once I get to this stage, I need to enter the two-factor authentication code. I'll just grab that now. The two-factor authentication code is a standard security measure for the platform. And when I click submit, it will bring me into the platform. So what we're going to do is to set up Marval with our development environment. So I'm going to log on to our Marval development system, and we're going to set the core settings here. We have no connection status, as you can see. So I'll go through how to do that in our Marval demo system. So there are two ways to get an API key for the integration platform. One way is to click on API keys and generate a key here. Another way is to navigate to the organizational structure and type in the name of a user you would like to use for this, and then click on API keys. I'm going to call an API key integration platform, and then I'll use this key to configure the platform. So we're back to the integration platform. I'll click on core settings, and then I'm going to place the API key here, and then I'm going to configure these other settings. So I don't have an on-premise installation because my Marval installation is accessible from the internet. If you did, you can click on that button and download the local agent. The display link and the query link are both separate parameters. The display link is usually the same as a query link. If you have an on-premise installation, your query link will be localhost usually, because this is where the agent will be connecting your instance, and the display link will be your external Marval instance. So in this case, they're the same. I'm going to copy what I have in demo and then paste that in there. And then we'll save those settings. Then once we have saved those and we go back to the dashboard, we should be able to see that our connection is healthy. Now our instance is not licensed, so what we'll need to do is request a license or wait for that to be activated by the Marval support. If you have a subscription license to Marval, then you get the integration platform for free. What I'm going to do is I'm going to license Marval in the background for this instance for me, and then we can see what that looks like here. So I've just licensed this installation, and you can see now I have 1,525 days left. So that sets up the basic settings. We still have some settings that require configuration here. It says that we have a tenant ID that we need to configure, so I might just go ahead and do that now just for completeness. So I'm going to go into the Azure platform and grab my tenant ID. You can also do this from Teams. If you go into Teams and then you click on a channel and then you copy the channel link. In the channel link is a parameter that says tenant ID, and so you can grab that and then place that where it says tenant ID here. So now it says the core settings are configured, my connection status is healthy. This means the platform can connect to Marval, and I'm licensed. So with active integrations, there are no currently active integrations. So what I'm going to do is install the pushover integration, and we'll see what that looks like. So pushover is a free push message service for iPhone and Android, and it allows you to receive push messages from emails or direct from systems using an API. And we use the API through Marval to send you push messages direct through the pushover service. So what I'm going to do is click on Add Remove Integrations, and then click on Add for Pushover. Now what that will do is download the pushover integration for me at the same time as giving me the key to use. So if I click the copy for the plugin key here, then I go to Plugins in Marval. This is through Maintenance System and then Plugins. And then on a new plugin, I can click on Choose File. Going to navigate to my Downloads folder, and then select the pushover.zip and then click Apply, and that will install the plugin for me. So now after we select is disabled and untick that, we will be able to see the integration platform pop up here. And then if we paste in the key and click on Activate Integration, that will activate the integration with the platform, and then we'll be able to see the rest of the settings to be able to configure this. So now we have this appearing. We can see that there's a version 1.2.0. We have the latest version. If this was not the latest version, we would get a prompt to download the latest version. It says that we already have a request action message configured, so we don't need to install it, but we don't have an action rule. Now for this plugin, we have two integration platform settings, the token and the user API key. Now if I was to click modify this setting, it would give me a link directly to the integration platform to configure this. So if I just put some writing in here, you'll see how when I save these settings, if I was to refresh this page, then the new settings appear here from the platform. And so this is how we configure most settings in the platform. The other feature we have here is it says install request action message, so we can automatically install a request action message. We don't have to formulate that. Now that will be called pushover. So if we click on the messages, we will see one or more pushover messages in here. So we can see several automated messages here. Let me go through and delete these, and then we'll see what it looks like when we don't have one configured. So this is the screen you'll see when you first install the pushover integration. And if you click on install request action message, then that will go green and it will say you have a request action message in your list of request action messages here. And then you can see this is the request action message that has been created. Now you can modify this message if you need to change any of the wording, change the request description or the note content or anything else here. You're able to modify that as you wish. The next step in this process is to open a request action rule dialog and set the request action rule and the criteria for triggering this integration. So what I'm going to do is select the incident, and I'm going to select a workflow of accepted. So whenever an incident is accepted, we're going to send a pushover message. So if we click install request action rule, and we can exit this box, and then we'll see that that is installed there. Now it's saying we have more than one request action rule. That's a good error, so we're going to just check that and then get rid of one of them. So we've got a pushover integration rule here. Let's just disable that. And I think that's the only one that we have. So we'll refresh this now, and then it should give us a green message saying that there is a that we're using the pushover request action message in a request action. Now, if this is the wrong version, so if you upgrade 1.2.0, you'll notice something about the request action rule. And that is that we have 1.2.0 here. Now, if we were to install 1.2.1, this doesn't get automatically updated. And I'll show you what happens if this was on a lower version. Let's say that we had 1.1. And then we go to the plugin screen, it would tell us that we're using the wrong version of the plugin in our request action rule. So we're just going to change that back. The other thing that I'll note is that when we have with the when criteria, you're able to add more predicates to this. So if we say, if it is a major incident, then we can say equals yes here. And so if it's a major incident, that's when this will trigger. So for any major incident, we're going to send a pushover message on that criteria. So we're just going to refresh the plugin here, and it should be all good now. So that goes through the installation of your first plugin, how to configure plugins, and how to configure your Marval installation. If you have any more questions relating to the integration platform or anything else relating to Marval, please reach out to your local Marval support representative. Thanks for watching.